Again, the best is fighting the best, and Crawford dared to be great, and this is one of the ways you do it, and you tell the world, watch. But to go in there and to let him know, establish that from the first round, that I belong without showing that I am tough. I earned my position to be here.
What do we just milk? What are we milking this dumb shit for? Think about how much money you could pump into boxing with great matchups.
Crawford right now is on a different planet. And most rematches.
On September 13th, 2025, the boxing world froze as Terence Crawford, a man who began his career at lightweight, stood in the center of a Las Vegas ring with his hand raised after dismantling the undisputed super middleweight king, Canelo Alvarez. The crowd sat in stunned silence, and commentators scrambled for words. But one man at ringside wasn't surprised in the slightest. He had predicted this very outcome months earlier.
Does he win? Can he beat him? Can he beat Canelo? Is his skill so much that he's able to bridge the weight classes?
He has a legitimate chance. Over 60% for his mind. If you say, Bernard, give me a number.
Give me a number.
He has an 85+ chance to beat Canelo. Why? He's not going in there to prove something, which will fall into Canelo's hand. He would love for him to prove something. That means you will stay there and try to prove something. But to go in there and to let him know, establish that from the first round, that I belong without showing that I am tough. I earned my position to be here. And I want to show you, even though you're being stubborn, that your time not only have came, but it's gone. He ain't going to surrender and say, I'll slow it up, so I'm going to act like it. No, he has to be shown. And it has to be early.
Bernard Hopkins, the executioner himself, didn't just predict a Crawford victory. He spelled out the exact blueprint for how Canelo would be exposed. While everyone else focused on weight classes and power differences, Hopkins saw something entirely different. A trap that Canelo walked straight into. Now, as talk of a rematch intensifies, Hopkins has returned with a new warning. And if his first prediction is any indication, Canelo Alvarez may be on the verge of making the biggest mistake of his career.
Where does Canelo go from here, Henry?
He needs to rematch. If I'm Canelo, I want to rematch Terence Crawford. He got schooled, bro. He got outboxed by Terence Crawford. And I know that he's itching to get that one back. The first time he fought Triple G, and he came back the second time, and he legit beat Triple G.
Once in a lifetime fight. It doesn't need to be a rematch. I think Bud would do worse the next fight. He would put it on Canelo a little worse than that, because that style of fight, I don't think he beats someone like Terence Crawford. But if I'm Terence Crawford, of course I'll fight him again. But this time, I'm the A side. I think Terence Crawford is going to be more confident next time, knowing that I can punch with this guy. I can take his shot. I'm faster.
He fought Canelo Alvarez.
Yeah.
He didn't do what the last dude did, just run. He threw at him. I'm going to call your bluff, bro. I'm going to fight you.
To understand why Hopkins is so confident Crawford would win a rematch, you have to revisit what he said about the trap. Even before the first bell rang in September, Hopkins warned that Canelo was playing checkers while Crawford was playing chess. Many fans dismissed this as old-school talk, but watching the fight footage now, it's almost frightening how accurate he was. Hopkins explained that Canelo had relied on his power and physical presence for so long that he'd forgotten what it was like to face a true technician.
So that's one from me, Canelo Crawford. Obviously, Terence just rocked up there. What do you make of his chances against the man you worked with for many years?
Great chance. He have a great chance because his heart, his talent, and also his game plan and his strategy. But Canelo is no pushover. I've watched Canelo for multiple years. Again, the best is fighting the best. And Crawford dared to be great, and this is one of the ways you do it, and you tell the world, watch, pay attention, and watch me make history. I will be one of those watching amongst millions of other people.
Crawford didn't beat Canelo with power. He beat him with intellect. Hopkins noted that for all 12 rounds, Crawford stayed 3 or 4 steps ahead, slipping into spaces where Canelo expected to land shots, only to disappear before the punch arrived. This wasn't running, it was elite distance management, the kind we haven't seen in decades. Hopkins called it the illusion of availability, tricking Canelo into throwing heavy shots at a target that was never truly there.
If this fight ends up going down, it's going to be a long, long night for Canelo Alvarez. Terence Bud Crawford has already figured out Canelo Alvarez. He already figured him out, he beat him down, and he learned that he can take his power, and on top of that, Canelo was hurt a couple of times by Bud Crawford. If you're Bud Crawford heading into this fight, you have not a single worry in the world. You know what you're capable of doing. You know that you can go out into that ring and you could put a beating on Canelo Alvarez. And might I even say this? Bud Crawford has a chance of stopping Canelo Alvarez if they do the rematch.
This brings us to the most fascinating part of Hopkins' breakdown, the idea of mental exhaustion. We usually talk about cardio and stamina in physical terms, how many miles a fighter ran or how many rounds they sparred. But Hopkins argues that what happened to Canelo that night wasn't physical fatigue at all. It was mental burnout. Imagine spending 36 minutes chasing an opponent and coming up with nothing but air. The frustration alone can drain a fighter faster than any punch.
There was some big news in boxing yesterday. Canelo said he wants a rematch with Crawford. What does Canelo have to do in the rematch, B-Hop?
We didn't do last time.
Which is what?
Win.
That's all. Simple as that. Crawford's very talented.
Crawford right now is on a different planet. And most rematches normally wind up the same. Statistically wise. I don't see anything different.
Hopkins compared the situation to his own legendary battles with fighters like Roy Jones Jr. He explained that when you load up on a power shot and miss, it drains your gas tank twice as fast as landing clean. By the 8th round, Canelo looked heavy, slow, and unsure of himself. According to Hopkins, that wasn't age. It was the moment Canelo realized he couldn't solve the puzzle in front of him. And in a rematch, that kind of mental scar doesn't fade. It deepens.
And listen, I mad respect for Canelo. It always will.
You always have been. You've been very respectful.
Listen, it always will be. But Crawford has an opportunity to continue to keep sticking it to the people that didn't. Whether it was politics over here, politics over there, we get a chance to show what we, or the boxing fans in the world, almost came that close to not seeing that talent as he continued to keep telling everyone that he wanted to fight the best years ago. Go all the way back to top rank, all the way up to here.
Well, he did it.
Do you agree or disagree?
I agree.
He got a chance to show.
He got a chance and he proved himself. That's in life, we just want the opportunity.
After the decision was announced, Hopkins made a statement that instantly went viral. He didn't just call Crawford the best fighter of this era. He compared him to Michael Jordan. It's a huge claim, but the reasoning tracks. Hopkins explained that Jordan dominated not merely because of athleticism, but because his fundamentals were so flawless that they translated against anyone, anywhere, anytime. At 38, Crawford should have been the slower fighter, the fragile one jumping up 2 weight classes. Instead, he looked fresher than the younger Canelo. Hopkins credits this to pure efficiency. Like Jordan in his later years, Crawford doesn't waste energy on unnecessary movement. Every step has purpose. You can train to get stronger, Hopkins said. But you can't learn to match Michael Jordan-level instincts overnight.
You know, to Sergio's point, a lot of the people that I'm been talking to when it comes to this fight, they're not like, it's almost like the air was taken out of them. They're not excited about even the idea of a rematch, or the subject doesn't even come up. Usually the conversations are, hey man, is there a rematch clause? You think they'll run it back? What do you think will win? Like, people just, even casuals, realize that Crawford, he schooled Canelo, man. He really did. I don't think people want to see this fight. I agree with Sergio Mora.
Be at a smaller arena because people already saw Canelo get dominated by the better fighter, and the better fighter will do it again, even easier and with more confidence. Yeah.
Now the world is clamoring for Canelo versus Crawford too. Financially, it makes perfect sense, and Canelo's pride is pushing him to run it back. But Hopkins believes this is a trap, potentially even more dangerous than the first fight. In his view, that first matchup shattered Canelo's aura of invincibility. And now that Crawford fully understands how Canelo reacts to his feints and movement, the rematch could turn out even more one-sided.
But you hold on. You keep saying this. Hold up. Canelo, see, this is the thing about Canelo. He sometimes relies on the environment, the hostile crowd, to also help him win this fight. Not only with the judges, but with the opponent. Crawford even handled that. You know, you can't prepare for that magnitude, the roar of the crowd, the lights, everyone booing you. You can't prepare for that. Crawford was ready for that. Even his ring entrance, when he came in with that guitar case, it was, man, that's one of my all-time favorite entrances.
Desperado. Yeah, it's an homage to Desperado. Yeah.
Actually, it was Mariachi. That was part one. Desperado was part two. That right there, it was me against the world. That was his mentality. Me against all these Mexicans. Me against Canelo in Las Vegas. Me against Canelo and the judges that he probably has in his pocket. Me against everyone, and Bud shut everyone up. And you think?
Yeah, but hold on.
Canelo's gonna be able to do it the second time around?
I don't know. I don't think it's as open and shut case as you do. Let me ask you.
Hopkins warns that Canelo has a hard time making mid-fight adjustments against pure technicians. We saw it with Bivol, and we saw it again with Crawford. As the saying goes, insanity is doing the same thing while expecting a different outcome. Hopkins argues that unless Canelo can completely reinvent his style in his mid-30s, something almost no fighter has ever successfully done, he's walking into a massacre. The size advantage didn't save him the first time, and it won't save him in a rematch.
Pick a fight. Okay, who's the best boxer in the world right now?
I'd have to say Crawford.
Canelo said yesterday he's working on the rematch.
Why would he do that?
For money, for fame, to get his shot back. For his pride. He wants his back.
Okay, he can try. Unless he changes his complete style, it's not going to happen.
So you have Crawford in a rematch?
Crawford in the rematch. Corner, when the fighters are even, it goes to the corner. So the best fighter, I think, heavyweight, Michael Hunter. Crawford would be right behind him.
The aftermath of this fight has vindicated many analysts who were previously labeled as haters. Take Paulie Malignaggi, for example. For years, he's insisted that skills pay the bills, and argued that Canelo benefited from careful matchmaking. After September 13th, Paulie's breakdown of the tactical chess match looks less like criticism and more like prophecy.
Canelo Crawford rematch.
Canelo Crawford rematch. No, thank you. Why? It wasn't a good fight the first time. I told you he was going to get dominated the first time. He got dominated, and there's no reason for a rematch. What do we just milk? What are we milking this dumb shit for? Think about how much money you could pump into boxing with great matchups if you took the money from a Canelo Crawford rematch and the money from Jake Paul and AJ, combine it together. You could fund boxing super fights for like 5 years. You could fund, you really could. Think about the matchups you can make with that kind of money. You could just fund all kinds of crazy, great matchups. And the fighters would all fight each other because there'd be enough money. And you wouldn't have to pay anybody $90 million. Think about that. No, instead we're going to make one useless fight, another useless fight. I don't know, man.
Even Eric Kelly, famous for his brutally honest, no-filter takes, has joined the chorus. Known for roasting almost everyone, Kelly broke down the fight by emphasizing Crawford's relentless, dog-like mentality, echoing what the fighters who actually stepped in the ring are all saying. At this point, it's clear it's time to pay attention.
What do you think about Canelo Crawford rematch? Any different? Same result? What do you think?
Same result. I think Bro don't fix it. You know where I stand on.
No, you got Crawford, I know.
I got Bud. You know what I'm saying? That's my brother. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Bro don't fix it. Canelo hasn't really shown you his ability to make adjustments over the years. Crawford is showing you difference. Crawford is the killer. When it's time to go get you, he's gonna get you. Crawford is a smooth boxer. Lateral movement, stand there, be slick. He's showing you all that. Now, when they come up the upper body movement, no one touches Canelo.
Okay.
He's the best.
They're showing us that the era of relying on weight advantages and hydration clauses is over. The era of pure skill has returned, and Crawford sits firmly at the top. If you need more proof that Hopkins sees what most of us miss, look at his latest prediction. While everyone is focused on the heavyweights and the fallout from Canelo, Hopkins has his eyes on Ryan Garcia versus Mario Barrios. Despite the tension between Golden Boy and Ryan, Hopkins publicly predicted that Ryan Garcia will knock out Barrios, pointing to his left hook and lightning speed as the deciding factors.
Ryan Garcia fighting for the WBC 147 title against Mario Barrios. What do you think?
A good fight to test both guys, especially Ryan, on what they're going to do next after this fight. Ryan by knockout.
Ryan by knockout, that's big. Now,
Ryan by knockout.
That's a big prediction.
Ryan by knockout.
Coming from a man who usually demands fighters prove themselves first, this is high praise indeed. Hopkins is on a hot streak with his calls. He predicted the Crawford upset with an 85% probability, and now he's doubling down on Ryan Garcia. If he's right again, we might have to stop calling them predictions and start calling them spoilers. September 13th, 2025 will go down in history as the night Terence Crawford did the impossible. But for Bernard Hopkins, it was just another Tuesday. He told us that skill would beat size, that mental exhaustion would break the bigger man, and that Crawford was the Michael Jordan of this generation. Looking ahead to a potential rematch, the question isn't whether Canelo can win, it's whether he should even step back into the ring with a man who has his number so completely. Hopkins has exposed the truth. Canelo is chasing a ghost he cannot catch. And if he tries again, he may well wake up on the canvas, wondering where it all went wrong. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss an update. Share your thoughts in the comments, stay tuned, and we'll catch you in the next video.